Jake, as we discussed several weeks ago, following the program with Ricky Steamboat, you were slated to enter into a program with Hulk Hogan. However, series of events, things that are out of your control, maybe even out of Hogan's control a little bit, didn't really work out. And so even though you were being presented as a heel up to this point, fans were starting to cheer for you. And it's just different territory, same result as always when it comes to you. Jake, this is one of those unique circumstances where the company ordinarily decides, here's our baby faces, here's our heels, and they're gonna cheer for who we want them to cheer for. Not in this instance. Much like Daniel Bryan, you just got over whether they wanted you to get over or not. So Jake, from your perspective, how important is it to have this kind of a grassroots organic support from the audience?
Well, it can be the death of you.
Mhm.
It cost me a lot. It cost me that run with Hogan, and that was going to be my money in the bank thing.
Yep.
But it just didn't happen, man. And the fans are the reason.
Gotta love them because they love you, but yeah, it's that immediate money maybe didn't come. Now, one interesting angle, I've talked to you before about, well, did the merch balance with it? Not quite. You didn't make all that money back, but here's another way to look at it is right now at this stage, early 1987, you are right on the verge of becoming a household name.
Yeah.
And do you feel that it was the babyface turn, the merch, the were critical factors in your status, or do you feel that you would have become a household name as a heel?
Yes, I would have.
Okay.
Yeah. I was unique. My interviews, nobody could touch them.
Mm-hmm.
And I made you think. I made you talk. I was the topic of many water coolers,
Yes.
on Monday mornings. And it just goes to show you, the strength of you is what comes back to you. And regardless of what I wanted, the fans did not want it. They wanted to cheer for me. Even if I was an asshole, they still wanted to cheer for me.
Yep.
And they still do. And I'm still an asshole.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Fast forward to 1991, 1992, you're running around with the Cobra and you're being fucking evil all the time on TV, but the fans love you anyways.
Still cheer me.
Yep. Still love Jake. So I think you're right. I think regardless, it's this household name status was coming.
Yeah, it goes to that saying I used to say, better to cheer than it is to fear.
Ah,
And that was the whole thing. They didn't want to be afraid of me.
it's hard to dislike a guy who has that kind of conviction to him where he's like, I'm making this strong, I'm carrying around this Cobra, I don't give a fuck who it bites. Just like this, I don't know, man. It's again that intangible it factor.
Better to fear than to cheer, or better to cheer than to fear.
I love it. That might be the name of this episode.
Yeah.
You're going to work against Bundy on Superstars before moving on to working against one of the hottest heels in the business at the time. It was Paul Orndorff. Jake, this is to me the clear-cut new path at this point. As soon as you have this match on Superstars, you are a babyface all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So the heel run has come to an end. What do you recall about being approached about this babyface turn?
I didn't want it. I did not want it. But they just told me, look, it's not working out.
Hmm.
It's either we turn you heel or turn you baby face or just start beating you as a heel. So let's go baby face then.
Would it have been Vince or like one of the agents that's having this conversation with you?
Vince.
Okay. It's how do you fight it? And I'm sure that Vince, everybody says you go into Vince's office and you'd hate the idea, but by the time you're walking back out, you've still got the same idea, but you have a smile on your face. Was that
Yeah.
sort of the vibe?
He was a master manipulator, man.
Gotta give him that.
Yeah, he can make chicken soup out of chicken shit too.
I mean, I was just having this conversation with somebody recently where they were saying that, it was after the Undertaker podcast. Somebody had listened to it and they said, "Well, Taker said that Jake was the greatest heel of all time," and I have to agree, he was. And I said, "I agree with that, but like his babyface stuff was really good shit, you know." You and I talked about it before with the kind of sympathy you were able to get with, you know, the earthquake squishing Damien, and you're getting blinded by Martel, and all these great angles. So I mean, I don't know. It's a blessing in disguise, I guess.
Yeah, I was able to pull it off, man. You know, and I credit that to just
Hmm.
believing in whatever you're doing. You know, if they've got you doing something silly, don't look at it like that. Look at it as a shoot, and look at it as, hey, this is really happening. So let's give it that emotion. You got to, man. You know, it's like whenever earthquake squished Damien, the original finish was to me to get knocked out of the ring, and then earthquake would squash Damien while I was down.
Hmm.
I wouldn't even see it, and I vetoed that. I said, hell no, man. I said, if you want heat, you need to put me in the ring, tie me in the ropes, and make me watch it.
Yep.
That's the real heat.
And I'll tell you what, you know, it was an iconic moment, and and everybody talks about, okay, yeah, the hamburger and the blood that was left in the ring. To me, the most indelible thing, whenever I think about it, is the look on your face whenever this is
Way I
happening.
the way I sold it is what got that over.